Hello everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to Metal Creed Riders Zone. Today I'm talking about the detailed service about my Kawasaki Vulcan S650 2018 model. Let me start with the coolant. So I am replacing it with this coolant, and which is basically coolant ready mix from Liquimoli. And you see the distilled water next to it. It's basically, once I drain the existing coolant, I will fill up the radiator and the excess storage with distilled water, run the bike for some time, and drain it again before filling up with this ready mix coolant from Liquimoli. Next, let's move to engine oil. So this is fully synthetic engine oil, which is again from Mobil, and which is 10W40 recommended viscosity by Kawasaki. I'm choosing Mobil or others based on certain of my research, which says that this works really well. Next to it, what you see is the K&N filter. This is an oil filter, a performance filter, which they call it basically. And when they say it wrench off, means you have a small nut on top of it, which makes it very easy to fix and remove. And since this is a performance filter, it makes sure it cleans the engine oil before it goes back to the engine and mixes it well. Next to it, I have the brake fluid. This is synthetic brake fluid .4. .4 means this has better pressure sensitive capacity. It means that during the heat, the oil doesn't vapor, becomes part of it vapors. So the quantity remains same, and so if there is no vapor happening out of the pressure when you apply on the brakes, it means that your bike braking effect will be much better. Next to it, I have the NGK iridium spark plugs. Generally, the stock spark plugs doesn't come with iridium. These iridium spark plug has many advantages. One, they are long life. Second, since their spark is better, so air and fuel combustion and the burning of the fuel is much better than the ordinary spark plug. Hence, you have a better fuel efficiency and less bad exhaust coming out of it. Next, I have EBC brakes. These are the brake pads, both for front and rear. I am changing it. The initial one lasted close to around 8,000 kilometers. So I'm replacing it earlier. Because I think the front one is still have some life, but I don't want to change only one. So I'll be replacing both of them, and they are sintered brakes. So the brake pad which comes in contact with your disc, that is where these sintered brakes are called for, because the material is made of a certain mixture of lot of stuff, metals or whatever you call it. What happens because of that, when you apply brakes, it holds the disc much better. So the braking will become much better than your normal other brake pads. Last but not the least, with great difficulty I could source MWR air filter. Now if you see, basically you get in the market other air filter as well, the performance filter, say from K&N. So why I went for MWR is basically a recommendation from Kawasaki workshop that they are spongy. So what happens, the minutest of the air particles, the dust, get filtered and doesn't pass on to the engine, and they are having oil in it. So this is, I don't need to use these bottles now, but I've got it at reserve after say a year or so when I do my next service after 10,000 kilometers. The left one will be used to clean and the right one will be used to refill the oil in this. So what happens when you have a good quality air filter, good quality spark plugs, engine oils, your performance, overall performance of the bike increases, your acceleration becomes better, your mileage per kilometer becomes better, engine runs more smoothly, your engine life improves. So if you see all these, why I've got all these, I mean I've got no fancy product. For me, the most important aspect of maintaining a bike is to have the best of what you didn't get it as a stock. So I'm not modifying, I'm not getting a performance air filter, which gives me higher pickup and, an initial higher pickup or so. I'm getting something which is everything better than the stock. I mean, the question need to be asked by these OEMs why we don't get it as a choice to fit this. But the idea is, for me, the bike need to remain stock with all the high quality replacement parts, whichever I can do it. So all this what you have seen here are basically to improve the efficiency and running of my Kawasaki Vulcan as 2018. Now over to the workshop. So here I am at the Whitefield Kawasaki to get my Vulcan serviced. You can see the team take hardly any time to start the work and they're very excited to do this thing. So we'll get back and catch you a little later when they really start the work. So let me introduce you a very dedicated professional team of Kawasaki service guys. He's Joshua. What's your name? Sharnaya Rakesh. So now we are replacing the air filter. You can see the condition of the existing air filter. So to change the air filter, you have to remove the tank, and remove all this cabling and everything. So I have got a very specific, as I told you in my beginning of the video, MWR air filter, which is strongly recommended by Joshua here. And so we are now going to replace this. Oh wow. Never seen visuals of a Kawasaki Vulcan, which you generally don't see it. This is the throttle body, right? Where is the fuel tank? Okay, so yeah, that's the fuel tank there. So now they're doing this and they use all the best quality of the sprays. This is from 3M throttle body clean. Though the bike has done little over 7,000 kilometers, but they are taking no chance to make sure that everything is taken care of. So why do we need MWR and not the regular filters, or not K&N, or not BMC filter? Why we specifically wanted MWR? Joshua will explain.
The reason being that K&N and BMC are paper-based filters, whereas the MWR is sponge-based, due to which all the fine particles are also filtered through, because the number of layers of sponge it has to come through rather than just a piece of paper. So this definitely offers much more better flow and also protection from fine dust, which eventually comes in and enters into the throttle body, affecting the entire performance.
So, and it has got oil.
Yes, it is oil based.
Yeah.
And it's a lifetime filter, so you can constantly wash it as and when it gets dirty. And
with the kit, the washing kit which
yes.
we got it along
yes.
with it and oil thing.
Yes.
And what is the interval? At what interval we should clean and?
I would rather say depending on the road conditions and how badly it gets clogged. Preferably at every service is good.
And every service is?
It would be about 6,000 kilometers.
6,000 kilometers. Thank Joshua. That's a lot of good information. So the brake pads are already replaced. What Joshua was telling me that the aftermarket doesn't come with a heat resistance. So they have removed the heat resistance from the stock brake pads and put it into the aftermarket one. It is basically to shield it from the heat generated from the brake pistons. Can you believe it, guys? Kawasaki has never come across with any accelerator wire snapping on any of their Kawasaki bikes. Only issue once they had with one of the bike where the clutch cable snapped. So usually their life is well maintained, lubricated, serviced, should easily go up to 40,000 kilometers. My goodness, awesome reliability, quality of Kawasaki. Hats off. These are the old plugs which has been removed. If you see, this has come with are these iridium again?
No, but they are NGK.
They are NGK but may not be iridium.
Yeah, they are not.
The one which we are replaced, it goes here. They are iridium spark plug, which I showed you the pack earlier, the beginning of the video. So yeah, it's not like you have to change it every now and then. They should last anywhere between 40 to 50,000 kilometers easily. So if you think it's a hassle to change the spark plug, they are not like normal bike spark plugs. So that's why they have to remove the tank and do all this. So here they are sitting inside, two amazing spark plugs which will give a good acceleration, better fuel efficiency to this bike. Air filter is fixed. Wow. So they are doing this to replace the existing coolant with a new one. Now they put the distilled water after draining the earlier coolant. Once the fan runs for some time, they will drain this distilled water and put a new ready mix coolant into it. So now they are pumping out the old coolant out of the reservoir. The brown color from green color happens because of the chemical reaction, as per the experts here. What I'm putting it is a ready mix, which is high quality one, which has a very large rating, which is like anti-freeze. So if you go to a city which is runs a temperature into minus degrees, the coolant won't freeze. So I think up to minus 20 degree temperature, in India somewhere like Himachal and all, this coolant will still not freeze and you are ready to go with the bike anytime you want to. That was the whole idea. And what it does, the anti-freeze coolant, it reduces the number of time the fan runs while you are running the bike, even in any average city. So less load on the battery and better fuel efficiency again. So here if you see the coolant, it is lithium oil coolant ready mix RAF 12 plus, means it's a high quality one. And if you look closely, it shows that the reliable protect the cooling system against frost, corrosion and overheating. So from minus 20 degrees Celsius to plus 104 degrees Celsius. That's the range of this coolant is. Just impressive, very impressive.